3 Nigeria Info, Sam Oracle Chinedu here. And for our final conversation for today, it is an anti-corruption organization, Human and Environmental Development Agency, header, Resource Center, petitioning the Central Bank of Nigeria, demanding an immediate suspension of local government elections to Rivers State over alleged constitutional violations and a disregard for a Supreme Court ruling. In a letter addressed to the CBN, Governor Olayemi Cardoso, header chairman Olariwaju Suraju, condemned the actions of the Rivers State Sole Administrator, retired Vice Admiral Ibokete Ibas, who was appointed following the declaration of a state of emergency by the president. The petition also copied to the Accountant General of the Federation, Shamsuddin Ogunjimi, urged the CBN to halt all allocations to affected councils until elected leadership is restored. Now, I read a major part of this report, and as it is with most people in this position who are either petitioning the CBN or suing the president or doing all of that, there usually is, according to this part of the Constitution. But there are things to consider, and these considerations do not invalidate their stance. It's just that sometimes, if we follow the demands of such groups, the problem it causes would be bigger than the problem you are trying to solve, which is what happens when there is a lacuna. It's what happens when something creates a vacuum or a void that is not very easy to explain. The Supreme Court says that the local government areas, local councils, must be headed by elected officials, by local government chairmen that have been elected. There is no room for a caretaker arrangement. It will only release money to those council chairmen that have been elected by the people. And this was in response to lots of states across the country that had caretaker chairman or, somebody, a figurehead who they give some name or title. Now the same thing is happening in Rivers State. There's an administrator who has dissolved all government structures and appointed administrators at the various local government areas. People are now going to the same court to say, Supreme Court, according to what you said, money is not supposed to be given to any figurehead who is not an elected official. The response to this will be, well, Rivers State is a peculiar case. At this time, we are in a state of emergency. So some things might not follow due process. The suspension of certain procedures might be permitted. That is the lacuna. That's the problem. Because somebody has the right to go to court and say, according to the law, the ruling, the pronouncement, whatever you want to call it, this is wrong. But if the court grants the requests of this organization, it's a battle between constitutional procedure and the dire needs of the people. Because if the CBN refuses to release money, what happens to the needs that money would meet? Like the payment of salaries, like projects that will need to be executed within this time frame. And while following it is constitutional, if the court says so, what happens? Within these few days that the administrator has been in office, several communities in Rivers State have complained about things as basic as waste management. So if someone else decides to go to court, and we all have the right to go to court, we all can go at the same time, no problem. The court does not complain. It will just adjourn for a really long time. So that's what happens when there is what would seem to be an anomaly. because now you have to try to make sense of it. Well, my question is, what impact do civil societies have on governance, and what's your take on HEDA's petition? HEDA is the name of the organization, Human and Environmental Development Agency. HEDA. The numbers to call are 080-903-06416. I'll take that again slower. 080-903-06416. And those numbers can only be taken via WhatsApp. So WhatsApp call is the only way that you can reach out to me right now. Hello, good evening.
Evening.
Good evening. What's your name?
Otto Gusta and Lugard on the line.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, on the issue of those people that went to court to stop the allocation to Rivers State government as well as the AGA, I think they should understand that what they intend to do is to publish the local government workers, the civil servants, and the rest of them. Because without salary being paid, there will be chaos, and persons are dependent on these persons as civil servants. Most of the civil servants have more than 20% depending on them, and that trickle down to the market. It will also affect the market woman. So they should understand that whatever thing they are doing, it will be detrimental to Rivers people and not just an individual. So we should jettison the idea of going to court to stop the allocation, but we should look for a way for the system to be stabilized, settled, and peace to return to Rivers State so that the elected governor will be returned, and that will settle the crisis. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Well, a resolution is required. It's the path to that resolution that may differ. And too many people are divided along lines of opinion, really. Some would go from the left, others from the right. But at this time, everybody is interested in the affairs of River State. Lawsuits are coming from every quarter of the state. And the idea is to either make sense of what we have going on in the state or disrupt. That's possible as well. Hello, good evening.
Yes, good evening, my brother.
Good evening. What's your name?
Yeah, Comrade Clinton calling from Bori.
All right, you have about a minute. Please go ahead.
Yeah, this is what you have when there's a constitutional lacuna. And also remember that there can be no void in governance. Moreover, what happens to the local government workers? This is the same thing we are calling for. When some persons went to court to stop the local government allocations and the rest, what happens to the workers there? So we should also understand that Rivers State is in a very, very peculiar situation. There's a state of emergency. And that's what we should understand. There's no need to speak much. These people going for court to stop allocation coming to Rivers State should do more and pray that we have what local government elected officials back. We should be praying for local government elections and not all these things. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Clinton. So elections will solve this problem. The minute we have elected officials, there will be no need to suspend allocations. How soon? As soon as possible, I guess is the answer. All right, a break happens now. After that, we talk some more. Stay with us.
Stay with us. Nigeria Info.
We have been talking about an anti-corruption organization, Human and Environmental Development Agenda, HIDA, petitioning the Central Bank of Nigeria, demanding an immediate suspension of local government allocations to Rivers State over alleged constitutional violations and disregard for a Supreme Court ruling. Now, I talked about constitutional procedure versus desperate or dire needs of the people. If the court adheres to this, of course, that means that for a while, salaries will be owed. Money will not flow into the state until it's fixed, and nobody knows how long that is. I'm not speaking for or against. I'm speaking to what happens when there is what I would consider the most popular word at this time, because we've used it too many times, a lacuna. Well, 080-903-06416. Like I said, that's how you can reach us, only via WhatsApp call. You can send WhatsApp messages to that same number. But for now, it's 080-903-06416. What is your take on this? Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening. I'm Joe.
Joe, go ahead.
Okay, quick one. This concerning the, what would I call it? The court holding the local government allocation. During the time of Governor Fubara, they said the local government election that was conducted was illegal and they held the allocation. Now that we are in what would I call it?
Emergency rule?
Emergency rule, yeah. It is also possible that it is an illegal administrator that is ongoing. So if there is any need for them to go to court to withhold it, it is also possible that they should do it, not for them to start compromising. I'm hearing people calling, saying too many things. Now they are making it illegal. Everybody is saying that it's illegal. They should also go to court and withhold the allocations not to be given to the local government, because there is no account being made for it. Even the sole administrator that is there, he doesn't have any account. He has not been making any money being allocated to the state. The state is just standstill. So why will they allocate money to the state when we don't have any budget going on the state? I think that is my stake. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. 080-903-06416. 080-903-06416. The problem of Nigeria is not constitution, but constitutionalism. What a country that the law of the land is selective, illegality everywhere with those that are supposed to have conscience. What is even holding the Supreme Court from hearing a case that have been filed since? Ezekiel Isaiah is asking. Dear Oracle, Paul writes, what does it take for the Supreme Court to address issues of national importance with the urgency that they deserve? Why is the Supreme Court waiting for so long before they address a simple petition filed by 11 PDP governors regarding removal of elected officials in Rivers State? Is it that they need to study the Constitution before they understand what it says? Why the waste of time as this type of scenarios even call for coming out from leave or recess to address it? Why keeping people and the polity waiting and suspense, thereby creating opportunities for unrest? Paul, you ask a lot of questions, and they are deep questions that require answers. Well, I don't know. Who cares about how people fare? Ifeanyi Chukwu is asking. Recall that a state's allocation at the time was stopped for the sake of appropriation. Did anybody think of how the people fared? I wish that judgment goes the way of the people and allocation stopped till after election. I don't like it when double standards come out from our court under the guise of technicalities. Ifeanyi Chukwu, you have to care. Right? You kind of have to care. Yes, that the fact that salaries were suspended before because of allocation doesn't mean it's okay for that to happen again. There has to be a process that ensures that people are paid and money is flowing for the right reasons. You know, maybe you're a business person, and I understand that a little 1 naira, 2 naira is coming in here and there. But there are people whose lives are dependent on the money that comes in at the end of the month. families are dependent on it, that people will eat, that school fees will be paid, that life will happen for them, is dependent on payment of that salary. So you should care, right? I get it that, there might need to be sacrifices made, but we really should care about these things. Okay, do I have any more messages? 080-903-06416. 080-903-06416. Okay. Okwando, good evening. Hello, good evening. Good evening.
The Oracle, Chinedu.
Good evening.
Yes, Okwando Obina is my name.
All right, go ahead.
You see, when you have offended the law, I don't think that because some people want to suffer will be an excuse. As a matter of fact, there is a ruling in this country that there should be no release of allocation except the local government has elected officials, democratically elected officials.
Yeah.
In the first place, the emergency rule that we have here in Rivers State has no constitutional backing. The federal government led by President Bola Tinubu has desecrated our constitution. So I think that these people that went to court, they are in the right direction. It is not because some people will have to, they will not be paid. They will not be paid their salary will be the reason why government have to disobey the constitution. So their movement is in the right direction, and I am in support of it, and hoping that the central bank, the courts will do the needful, and the central bank will also do the needful. Thank you.
Okwando, thank you very much. But to clarify, the president does have the right to declare a state of emergency, right? When you said the president had desecrated, I can't remember the word you used. It is well within the right of the president to do that. However, the world famous section 305 that everyone is quoting now lists conditions. Now, what people are asking is, are those conditions existent in River State? If it's for the president's rights to, say state of emergency, of course it does. But according to the constitutional provision, does River State qualify for it? That's the first question. The second, which is where a large part of the controversy stems, is the suspension of a governor. So far, so good. Nobody has heard that the president has the power to do that. And that's what so many people are approaching the court to get answers to get interpretation. Where is this power coming from? That a governor becomes suspended governor. So while we are interpreting and sharing opinions, we need to completely understand how we got to where we are. Obed calls from GRA. Hello, Obed.
Yes, good evening, Mr. Sam.
Good evening.
Yes, Mr. Sam, I've long waited for this kind of opportunity. I was waiting for any individual who will go and challenge this, honestly. This court action instituted against River State, for me, is a welcome development, in a sense that if Supreme Court in its wisdom says that without a duly elected local government, funds should not be released to local government. So what are we talking about? So I think the Supreme Court should look into the matter. I don't know if it is before them or they've gone to trial court first. So they should look at it again. If something can come out of there, well, it will be a good thing if they say otherwise, but it will also be a good thing if the justice is served the way it's supposed to be according to what the judgment they gave earlier. Was it this year or last year? You understand? So if you look at the whole thing, you understand that the actions of the president was wrong. to have suspended a duly elected governor of Rivers State. That is where all this is emanating from. And the sole administrator went again, installed another sole administrator. So what we have in Rivers State is 24 sole administrators. So, Sam, can you beat that? You understand? So look at it. So I think that matter has to be reconsidered again. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I never asked, can you beat that? I was tempted to answer with humor. All right. Well, this is as far as we can go on this particular conversation. A program comes up now, and it takes us about to the top of the hour, where other things happen. 6 brings the major news. After that, it's open season. Stay with us.